Hello and welcome to Construction Wolf. Today we're very excited, aren't we, Wolf, to build this medieval town square that we picked up recently at the Lego store. Looks like a really impressive build. I think there's 3,304 pieces, so yeah, quite a large set. And it's a reimagining of a set that came out in 2009, which was the medieval market village. I didn't have that back then, but this set looks really good, and I'll put a picture of the original setup now. So we're excited to see how this one is, and it's also got the very infamous grey goat that is in this set, which a lot of people are excited about. So interesting to see that as well, aren't we? So let's get straight into it and open the set. Wow, there's a lot of Lego in this box. It's shot out everywhere. So no box in the box this time. Right, so let's pick all those up before, and we better have a rearrange, Wolf. We've arranged all the Lego now, and you'll see there's 25 bags, loads of bags of Lego in here, so there's a 25th bag there. And then you also get a non-numbered bag of plates to put all the sort of pieces on to build the actual different buildings that we have here. And then we also have two manuals you'll see here, which I'll have a look at in a moment, and a sticker sheet. And then all the way up here is where we're going to start on bag one, and you can see the Wolf line up. You're looking forward to starting this set, aren't you? Here's the sticker sheet in the set. Some quite nice designs in there. It'd be interesting to see what the sort of proportion is of actual print to stickers as we build the set. And then as you saw, we've got two manuals. So this is the first building we build, and then this is the second manual for the sort of larger building with the tower on it. And just always like to see the intro in the manuals here to see what they have. They have like sort of a bit on the actual medieval sets in the past, I think, and then it talks you through some of the scenes in the set and the characters. Like so. And a bit with a tax collector. There you go. And then this is the set I mentioned earlier. So it's inspired by this medieval market village from 2009. And then there's the designer of the set. We've opened the first bag now, ready to build the set. You'll see just here I've built the first minifigure ready before we actually start the set. So that's quite a nice little figure there. And then we're just going to get the Wolf to build now. So I'm just going to help him apply some pressure. Well done, Wolf. We're now going to power through all 25 bags now, Wolf, so you're going to be very busy. So that's going to take as well, but for you it's going to happen after this transition. And here's the completed set then. It took a lot longer for me to build than I thought it might do, but I guess 3,304 pieces, that's to be expected. So I built this main building here with the Wolf, and then unfortunately I ran out of time to finish it with him, so then I built this second part by myself. Let's get straight inside and take a detailed look at the sets. Before I place the minifigures within the set, I thought we'd have a close look at them. So the first one here is the carpenter, that she's armed with a hammer. And then next we have the tapestry weaver, and he's got his scissors, and he also comes with a satchel. This young girl works in the cheesemaker's house. I think she might be the cheesemaking family's daughter, and she's got a spoon there. And then next we have one of the big popular figures in the set, the Wolfpack clan member. And he's got his crossbow, and then the classic wolf logo on his tunic. This lady works in the Broken Axes Inn as the sort of barmaid. And this is the shieldsmith. She actually sort of makes and paints the shields. And you can see she's armed with a paintbrush. And then she's also got a nice palette. And then this is the tax collector. So this is one of the few characters in the set that actually has printed legs, because the others so far haven't, and then none of them actually have printed arms. And there's maybe his tax records he's got, and he's got a pen keeping track of everything. And then the final minifigure of the set is this Lion Knight's guard, and he's got a really nice sort of stash that sort of clips on between the head and the body, and sort of that 3D effect is quite nice. And he's got a spear, and then he's also got the printed legs too. This is what the back of the minifigures look like. They've got sort of belts and sort of minor details, but nothing too crazy there. And half the minifigures have second expressions, such as the carpenter, the young cheesemaker, they're still quite surprised, and then the shield painter. And then here's the actual face of the knight with the moustache. You can see with his moustache unhidden, and you'll also see he's got a second happier face on the back. And here's the completed set on display on the table here. And you can see quite substantially big buildings. We'll have a close look at this in a moment, but you get a few little side builds too. So down here we've got like the cheesemaker's store where they sell a few baked goods as well to go with the cheeses. And you see there's a nice little different range of coloured cheeses in there. And across here we've got this tree build, which is quite nice. And if I just move it closer, you can see you've got like a mushroom in the bottom there, a goat for sale sign, and then a wanted sign here. I wonder who this wanted sign could be for. And yeah, you'll also see you got a lily pad, small like pond, and a frog there, another mushroom. And then on the other side, we've got another sign, which is Beware of Dragons, and that looks like the Batlord, which actually came in the recent minifigure series. And then you also get a few miscellaneous bits I couldn't really fit in the set on the side, like an axe and a sort of a log for chopping. This cart, it's a shame that you don't really get anything to pull the cart, like a horse, or there's not even like a cow in the set. So the sort of cart just sits there loosely. And then this is the shield maker's, like, you know, she's painted one of these shields here. And then this is another one to be painted. And then just a few like miscellaneous sort of items like weapons and knives. But also actually in this set, you only get a very limited range of animals compared to say the set is inspired by. And you'll get say like as you see here, a couple of birds, and then there's like the frog and a small cat. Obviously the big draw is the goat here, the grey goat. So it's great to see the goat back. We got the a goat earlier in the year with the minifigure series. That's the white goat. So this is a totally new colour they've done. They might do other colours in the past, but really pleased to get this grey goat. It's just a shame, as I was mentioning, like the lack of animals. Really, it could be good to have like maybe a horse or a cow or something like that. But the designers did fit quite a lot into this set. So now let's take a look at the actual buildings. Starting with this building first, we've got the tapestry weaver on this side, then the middle, the carpenter. And on the right hand side, we've got the cheesemakers. And you'll see here, the carpenter's actually got a little logo there. All these sort of pieces are generally sticker pieces. There were very few prints this set, unfortunately. So if we start on this side, I'm not going to open up the set yet. You'll see in a moment it sort of swings open. I really like the thatch roof that they've done here, and it's quite an impressive building technique to get this to curve around the window here at the top. That was quite nice. And then you'll notice a number of these chimneys here got these little nice wisps of smoke coming out of them, so that's quite a well done feature. We've got like a little sort of garden area just at the side here of this building, and you'll see like sort of bucket water to water some plants maybe. And then we've got like a pumpkin and a little beehive. There is a bee on top of there. And then we've got some root vegetables growing, such as, you know, carrots and maybe parsnips. And the other roof is probably is thatched, but it's less well decorated. Maybe they've just done this for a contrast compared to the other building. It could be just like sort of piece restrictions because it's quite a large set. And then spinning around, you can see more flowers with another bee. And then we've got this nice blue and white awning. Just covering, this is where the carpenter is, and we'll have a close look in a moment. And then there's sort of plant detailing around the side there, mushrooms and like little trees. And then we've got the grey goat in place in a little sort of farm like type area. Also got a squirrel in there too, and just a few little plants. And then there's you know, sort of a door that opens up as well, which goes into the cheesemakers. And then another chimneys, like the, you know, patterns of the buildings, and they've made all these buildings, you know, sort of generally different colours as well, which provides a nice contrast. Such as you've got the sort of the beige and the brown there, and the white and the black here. And also there's up here, there's a crane that works, we'll see in a moment. We've got a red bird on the top there. So now I'm going to swing the set open. So if we flip this round, you'll see the set does open out. So then you can just open out and see the details on the inside. And there we go. So we can open like so. And then that does give us the option actually to display it in a different way. So you could, like, you know, sort of display it like so, or do angles depending on how you want to have it, you know, in your sort of your medieval setup maybe. So this is the tapestry weaver's sort of section first, and you'll see here he's just, you know, sort of cutting away his tapestry. I'll just pop him out. You can see that's tapestry itself, and that's actually a reference to some older instructions. It tells in the instructions book to a previous like yellow castle. And then we've got sort of different spools of thread back there that he uses. And then different implements and, you know, like candle And you'll see it's also got sort of a cooking area as well, and a fork. That's an interesting way of storing a fork, not a cupboard, just on the side of the building. So that's the tapestry maker. And then around here is the carpenters. So you can see this is her, you know, sort of setup below. And funny enough, this sort of chair here is actually a reference to the Lionheart's Castle. It's the exact same build of chair, just you know, different colour. I guess it's unvarnished. And there she is working with other things. And then we can pop this out here. This is one of the mini builds, and this is just, you know, like a lathe for, you know, like sort of you know, carving out the woods as it spins around. If we just move that to one side, you can see there's like some instructions to build something. That's another look at her work in there. She's got a little desk too. And then there's a building at the top here. So the roof just lifts off like so, very easy. And you can see here she's got like a storage area where she can, you know, store some of her supplies like wood. And there's a pop down ladder here as well. I'll just take this off first. You can see the insides of that building more clearly there. Now we're set up, we can actually use this winch just here to put up this sort of spare part, like a wheel. So you just turn this knob dial on the side. You'll see it sort of brings up the wheel like so. And it's actually got a lock in place here. So this grey piece here, if you turn the knob, it stops it going that way. So if you drop it outwards, then you can actually drop it down. It's sort of like an anti-lock sort of system to stop it accidentally dropping down. We've also got this other dial here, which actually does drop the ladder down. So if I turn this, see, it just pops down. And I'll do it again so you can see it drop down from this side. There we go. And that's just a way for the carpenter to get up to a storage area. Then moving across from the carpenters is the cheesemakers. So we can actually pop this roof off as well. Like so. We can have a look on inside. So you can see plenty of cheeses in there, you know, even some cheeses stored on shelves. Different colour cheeses, even like a blue cheese out, it's quite nice. And there's you know, the cooking stoves here for sort of condensing the milk down, I guess. And then you'll see there's a little cat here that's been given some cheese as a you know, reward for keeping any sort of mice, the way it says in the instruction book. And then I like the details of the flooring where it's, you know, sort of tiled and there's sort of split tiles and little chips out of it. You can see there's the stove fire as well. And then as we saw outside, it leads into the sort of farmyard area with the goats. So maybe they're using goat's milk for making these cheeses. So that was the first building. Now move on to the second building, which is taller, which contains a guard tower. You'll notice all the roofs on this particular building are actually properly fully thatched and look really, really good. Just, you know, nice texturization on them. Like I've used, like, you know, different colours here. You know, sort of a more straw and then a sort of a darker straw colour. We've got the guard tower as well. And you can see they've got the slits for where arrows can come out. And I like this sort of nice sort of details on there. We've even got a moustached guard on guard watch here with a, you know, flag. We'll say it's a bit odd that they haven't actually put like a ladder for this tower here. So it's a bit mysterious how they get it, but I suppose they sort of run out of space for the details. There is a ladder that runs up part of the way through the tower. But there's no sort of ropes or anything like that. Got a sticker detailed flag there. And this sort of leads up a stairway into the actual tower itself. And then if we spin back round before we look at the main front of it again, you see this sort of plant detail here. Like sort of trees and maybe some sort of ivy running up the tower. Got these like, looks like maybe it's supposed to be holly, but then you saw like cherry elements here. And funny enough, hidden behind here, if I just move this out of the way, you'll see a little blue bird. And this blue bird, funny enough, is interesting piece usage. Is you see a minifigure beard has been used to make the nest. Continuing on, we can spin the building around, and there's not too much on this side. And you'll notice the different coloration. We've got the red sort of black striped building here, then the green and the sort of the beige colours building in contrast to these colours. So they've given us a good variety of colours in this set, which is nice to see. And then spin it around to actually the front of the building now, I'd say. So this is the Broken Axes Inn. This is what they call it on the Lego website. So it must be the name. Well, there's no stickers to say so, but I really like this sort of, you know, front entrance with the two shorter axes, broken axes, I guess. And this sort of knight helmet piece is quite cool, isn't it? And then we've got sort of, you know, a cobblestone path leading into the inn itself. And then all doors open. We'll have a look in there in a moment when we open up. And then there's a pie just calling on the windowsill there. And then these shutters are actually sticker pieces too. So let's open up the set. So see, just like before, it sort of flips fully open. We'll look at the front first just to see, you know, the look of it. It's a quite impressive profile there. And so let's look on inside now. So this is the inside of the Broken Axes Inn. That's just through that door there we saw on the outside. You can see like a drinks keg here for pouring out, you know, pints into the. You see there's some tankards back there, and there's sort of candles to light the place. We've got like a chessboard. Nice. That's actually one of the few printed pieces in the set with you know, some like microfigure chess pieces there. There's a lute, which I'm sure a minifigure play to try and, you know, entertain people while they have a drink. And then if we move up to the next floor, this is where the innkeeper, she, you know, prepares, you know, some like food for people. And you'll see this does open, this stove, and there's like a, if we just get in there, you can see there's a bit of fire in there, you can see that bit of orange. And then there's the pie she's made, cooking on the windowsill, and various foodstuffs dotted around the table. Even like a little cheese up there again. This, I don't know if you've played a game called Perfect Art. It reminds me of finding cheeses and that. There's lots of cheeses hidden throughout this set. And then we've got, you know, sort of fish in a barrel, actually, funny enough, back there. And then, you know, sort of bucket of water for cleaning, like other foodstuffs. And you'll see just in there, different utensils, such as cleavers and knives. And this bird is quite big, you know, if you compare this to the size of the minifigure. It must have been a very big bird, or whatever that was. And then finally moving up to, you know, like the living quarters. So this is where you can rent a room at the inn. So it's easier to take the roof off to let a bit more light in. And that just pops off like so. And it's quite a solid build. And this is the actual tax collector here. He's just, you know, sort of got his big bag of money, I guess, that he's been collecting his taxes. He's got, you know, sort of like a little bed there. Then another cheese. And, you know, some cup. And then he's on the desk. If I pop him out, you see he's got his quill there for writing down his records. That's where the ink pot there. And then like a letter and a candle. And there's a hidden feature if I just move this money bag out of the way. So behind this sword, there's a hidden compartment with some coins in. So it looks like he's skimming some, you know, sort of money off that he's been collecting that he's not going to give to like the king or queen. So we can close that. And then just down this side is the second building. So we've got the shield maker. And, you know, she makes the shields and paints them all up. And you'll see here there's a blank shield ready to be painted. So she's ready with a paintbrush, just ready to paint these all up with the different paints. And if we just pop this figure out here, you see there's all sorts of paint splotches on the floor, which is quite a nice detail. And maybe this is where she makes up some different paints. Got a nice picture of, I guess, the king in the background there. And then, you know, sort of a cooking area for maybe cooking up some materials. If we move around here, you see there's an unpainted shield and, like, you know, one of those anvils. A few more spare paintbrushes and a hammer. And then up to the next floor then, I guess this is her living quarters. You can see there's like, you know, letter there and more sticker details and an ink pot and a bed again. And then there's sort of a simple door here. If I just open this up. Like so, it's probably the least impressive door build in the set. It's quite basic. It doesn't actually fit the hole perfectly, but there we go. And then as we saw, the ladder that leads up to the guard tower. And that actually is like, you'll see here, a bat just in there. So I don't know if that's anything to do with the Bat Lord that we saw a warning from. Could be hidden in disguise there, who knows. And then as we saw earlier, the knights at the top of the guard tower. So as you can see, it's quite a considerable size set. It's not on any base plates, so you'd have to, you know, like incorporate it onto maybe some, and do some like landscaping to like slot it into your, like, say, dioramas that you might be making. And, you know, you've got these different elements like the trees, and they're all sort of disconnected. And it's sort of, as I've discussed, bigger than I expected. So let's take a look. I just wanted to show you the size of this set in comparison to maybe another set. So this is a modular building just back here that I built, which is, you know, non-standard, over sort of 1.5 base plates. So a very large building, and you see here that sort of a good sort of 3,000 odd pieces went into this. And I suppose I didn't really think about this because they look sort of small in the pictures, but when you think it's a £200 set and it's 3,300 odd pieces, it's actually quite sizable, isn't it? It's, you know, got quite a large footprint when you compare it to this big 1.5 base plate building. So you'll definitely need quite a bit of reasonable space to, you know, put this on display somewhere. Or, you know, if you're trying to encompass it into, you know, sort of a diorama in some way. Then if you fold it out, like so, maybe fold it up partially. And then I'll just fold this out here. So see, folded out, it does take a decent amount of space, doesn't it, really? But that's quite nice, something to work with. And then you've also got like the mini builds back here as well. So quite an impressive display. If you're like maybe a more casual fan, just wanting to put it on a shelf, you can do that and have the different elements. But then you've got to sort of squeeze in these extra modules. And then you had a lot of these bits that I've kept to one side. I couldn't quite fit the set. I guess this is a nod, this little cart, to the medieval village set that I showed you earlier in the pictures. But yeah, these sort of loose bits can be a bit annoying. I guess you could just chuck them in a building just to store them away. So then the minifigure count I thought first was maybe a bit low, but if you see the density of the things in these sets, and there's maybe not a lot of space to put more minifigures, so I think 8 was about right. But as I've discussed, the animals were a bit lacking, so this is what I've done. I think it looks a lot better if the goat has some friends. I've used the minifigure series 25 that's currently out to put some of the white goats in. Then I don't know if you remember my video from a few weeks ago from the series 15 minifigures. I've put my spotted pig in there too. And also in that series, actually, I got like a queen and a knight, so I thought they could come and buy some cheeses. So it just sort of fleshes the set out a bit, adding these few extra details. So overall, I have to say this is a very impressive set. Great value for money for what you get, and so much detail in it. So I hope this is a sign of, maybe more medieval sets coming out in the future, because that would be great to see. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you could consider like and subscribing, that'd be very much appreciated. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye.